It's
Great.
what a week.
That's fucking wonderful. Shit.
Shit. What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to Game of Modes, the jazz composition podcast. We're here, as always, with one of the 90s foremost young improvisers driving an absolute trailblazing effort through the East Coast saxophone scene. As always, also joining us from the West Coast, one of the up-and-coming stars of modal guitar playing, Schultzy. Good to see you again. And sorry, Noel, what is it you do?
Eye candy. I'm just eye candy. I just show up.
He's a tambourine.
He doesn't know his inverted seventh from his flat third. Anyway,
more cowbell.
What was that, Schultzy?
Said you to throw down with the cowbell.
Oh yeah, yeah. The what is it? The triangle. Ding.
I mean, is there even cowbell? Oh, he's gone. Right, there we are. Bam. Here today, gone tomorrow.
I'm using the shortcuts here, and the E and the D. A little bit confused sometimes.
You get the D confused sometimes.
With the E, yeah.
With the E.
The D and the PP. Same thing.
I got the heater on in the background, so I'm trying to be courteous and
I do hear
not have that hum.
Yeah.
Heater.
Is it getting cold? Well, I guess it is.
This house is cold. It's not cold generally. Just this fucking house is cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 10 degrees outside, fucking minus 12 in here.
Is it like above a Aboriginal burial ground or something? Like what? Like why exactly is it?
Well, it's in Melbourne, so it could be.
Is that minus 12 centigrade?
I think that was an exaggeration.
Joking, man.
I think that was purely exaggeration.
I was going to say because that's like real cold.
I think
that's like I wasn't.
It's like maybe it's 15°C in here. Maybe it's
right. Okay, so it's basically summer.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, in London,
it is summer in the UK now. After the 1st of May, you're into summer. Don't let the haters tell you any different. And I believe it is 13 degrees in the sun today. That was the temperature. So
move immediately.
This is why the UK has a shortage of junior doctors then becoming real doctors, because all of them move to Australia and get paid more money and better weather. Well, they get paid in better weather, but there is better weather, and yeah, we have a problem.
So it would appear as though we have no viewers today, because I'm sure one of you all are actually viewing on YouTube. So hey, there you go.
No, I can though. We can bump it up.
We've been boring enough to totally make everybody stop coming.
to be fair, we are 10 minutes early to our own podcast, so
10 minutes early.
5 minutes late, 10 minutes early.
Exactly.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So,
what's up, lads?
What is up?
I missed you guys last week.
Yeah,
it was like a round robin. Like some people showed up, and they left, and other people showed up. It was like.
Yeah, I had an absolutely cracking last Wednesday as well. I was in a great mood. And then I think the podcast was what took me over the edge to being totally exhausted. And then my Thursday was just like, one of those days where you go into work and you're there all day and you like type and stuff. And then you go home at the end of the day and you're like, the fuck did I do? And you look at your to-do list and nothing on it is done. And you're like, yeah, how the fuck did an entire working day get absorbed in what? Like, I didn't even make a note of what I did. Just like nothing happened on Thursday. So yeah,
that was all the time. Like literally, that's his business. So because like, I dealt. What the fuck was I dealing with? I dealt with something this morning, but there's two things I needed to do today, which I still haven't done. and it's just like random shit comes up, right? Like you get sidetracked on this fucking thing.
Oh god, like Apto storage again. What the hell? It's the never-ending story. You see that the exchange in the in the Val conversation? Like storage is just very gently going up, even with pruning configured properly. But it's like it's been pretty much static, hasn't it, from when pruning first kicked in? And it's now creeping up by like a couple of gig a day. And you're like, okay, this is not like a today, tomorrow, next week, next month problem. But it
It's like
will
a
run
right
out
now problem.
eventually. It will run out eventually, and you know it's time to do
Just
some maths, right?
blow it away and start over.
How much storage is sitting on over there, the future Dr. Frey?
Not loads actually for our mainnet validator because we had to. There was like a diktat, if you like, to. We shouldn't use that
What?
word. Let's just imagine that I said there was a. We were asked to, and I didn't use a problematic word. Anyway, the word came down from on high that we had to migrate our validators because of spec changes, like 6 months ago, something like that. And the only servers that would do the job were, by and large, AMD EPYC 9s and I think Ryzen.
Nines.
Ryzen 7 950s did okay, didn't they? But they were a bit more patchy. Like sometimes it depended on the provider.
And
But basically, the notice we had from our provider, we couldn't get a massive hard. We basically could either get 8 terabytes, or I think maybe 2, maybe even 1 actually on one of the boxes. But we just had to go with what we could get. So I think it's the VFN only has a 1 terabyte drive, and that's the one that's concerning me a little bit.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, so we do actually have an agreement because they couldn't provide us with the boxes we wanted. We do have like an agreement in place that we can upgrade the box and just pay the difference basically, as whatever the change we want becomes available. Because they were like, sorry, we can't provide it at this exact moment.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine,
Fine.
but it would involve blowing away the state of the VFN. Because like if they're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna like take out the 2 terabyte hard drive, whatever is already currently attached to that node, they're not gonna like just give a free mounted drive on there. And even if they did, actually, the configuration would be complex enough that we'd have to blow it away anyway. From what I understand, we have to provision a new box with the new configuration to take advantage of that. So it means migrating again, which is a bit of a pain in the butt, but not the end of the world.
But the VFN migration is the VFN migration. Who gives a shit? Just set up a new one and it's fine. Turn off the old one.
Yeah, the VFN,
right?
The VFM I'm less worried about.
Validator.
Like, I suppose the point is that as soon as because the validator is also on a smaller disk than I would like.
Yeah, it's
what provider are we talking about here?
OVH.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So the problem was that we had a conversation about geographic locations, and we had drawn one still in Europe, but we quite specifically had to run in. Did we actually have to run a VFN and the Val in different data centers? I can't remember. Anyway, the outcome of a conversation was we needed to do something quite specific. And they were like, oh, yeah, you can absolutely have this config nailed on in, like, let's say Ireland. And it was like, can't run it in Ireland. Sorry. What have you got in Poland, Strasbourg, somewhere like that? Obviously, Poland and Strasbourg, very different places. So I should remember, but I'd have to look at my billing to remind myself of which data center it's in. But yeah. So that was that. That was a bit annoying, but then they were like, it's okay, you can just change it. And we were like, yeah, fine. And then now when you do actually go like, should we change this? You're like, ugh, doing another migration voluntarily is a pain in the butt, but whatever. Yeah.
I've been migrating away from OVH as much as possible.
Me too, actually. I don't have anything there.
You have a real beef with OVH, don't you now?
They just kind of got under my nose a couple of times. Their customer service is pretty bad, and their billing is shit. And
I agree.
Their invoicing is
it's also like in the blockchain industry. It's pretty saturated now as well.
Correct.
Trying to like
Yeah.
just get some diversity out into some
Yeah.
other shit. Yeah. But
Yep.
I do have some just like dirt cheap boxes there that I keep around because I got them on special ages ago and they're just cheap. So
40
until
bucks.
those hard drives are like trashed,
Until
I'm keeping
until
them.
they're spent. $40
Yeah,
a month
exactly.
while you burn up NVMe drives.
I will give them something. They do use good drives because I've been chewing those things hard for a long time with the IOPS, and they're still hanging around. So I'll give them credit where credit's due. They do use quality hard drives, but
Yeah, I mean, we had some real problems when we were doing like really heavy load tests with Aptos stuff with some providers, and bizarrely, well, not bizarrely, but OVH were good, and Hetzner were good. Hetzner didn't break a sweat, even at a lower spec. They didn't break a sweat really.
Yeah,
I a while ago managed to finally get an account with Hetzner after they denied me a business account many times.
Did you have to set up a new
And-
company that wasn't Big Balls Blockchain?
No, I just did some other stuff. But I don't want, in case they're listening, I don't want to say.
that's such a validator. That's such a validator answer. Nah,
It's like, yeah,
other stuff.
you're just like, it's not important to give specific.
It doesn't matter.
So, but man, you can't go past their auction boxes on the old AX 101s. They are exceptional. 100 Australian bucks,
I had
and
none of those.
you can abuse the shit out of them.
I moved
they're
everything.
great.
I moved everything to Ryzen 7. It's all 7950s here now.
Ryzen 9, 7950?
Yeah, 7950s. Yeah, Ryzen 9. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I have. So these are old 5950
Right.
X3D boxes. They got some chop, and you can get them with
They're
like
cheap,
two.
right?
The auction boxes have 3.8 terabyte hard drives on them as well.
Yeah.
So you can just beat them up with stuff. They're great.
Yeah.
But man, some of these other providers we've been using are also good. There's one which has a P in the name. Their hard drives don't have much chop. I've been beating those up pretty bad.
Mhm.
And actually, I've had a problem with one. I was talking to you about this earlier. So I've had a problem with one of those boxes for days. They put two new main boards in it, and then the second main board they put in, the super micro one, had a bad nick in it. And so it's just you can get it working, you can configure it, but then after you configure it, like it'll last about 3 or 4 hours, and then the PCIe will disconnect. And then it's fucked. You have to restart it. So we thought it was a kernel bug.
Yeah.
And then so, that was Ubuntu 2204. And then the provider's like, oh, there's probably a kernel bug with the new motherboard. He updated, didn't fix it. I reinstalled the entire operating system and all of the blockchain services that were on that bloody thing. It took me hours. And then in the third hour, it stopped working again. So we've got an email trail that's about 40 emails long. And on the last go, it's like, I'm just going to put a external NIC on it.
An actual NIC in there?
And yeah, that seems to have fixed it. So apparently that brand new board had a dodgy NIC. So
Supermicro's
kind of annoying.
brand though. I mean, the only thing good about those places, like you and I both use some smaller, relatively smaller providers, right? That have
great
racks,
service though. Yeah.
that have racks and good data centers that are well connected, that have smart, knowledgeable people, but they're still small providers, right? So there's not like 20,000 boxes sitting back there and they just provision another one, right? Like you're in an email thread with them to solve the problem.
Yeah, they're built to order. So
right. Yeah. They
like
are.
when you
one,
order
that
one,
one
you're waiting
for
3 or
sure.
4 days.
Yeah. Speaking of waiting,
I said,
3 or 4 days.
But you guys are ordering like fucking boutique servers, like you want sourdough on a fucking...
No, not at all. These are all straight.
Like,
nah, not at all.
They're pretty,
these are like
pretty
these are pretty
run-of-the-mill.
pedestrian. I mean, some of these. We have some epics on order that are not pedestrian, but for the most part, these are like desktop. These are desktop CPUs shoved in like 1U servers with like fast NVMe. Like there's nothing. They're edge servers. Like they're meant to be destroyed.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
so like, look, I get the
anything
logic.
boutique we build ourselves.
Sure, I'm not like
Yeah.
like I get, you know,
judging.
decentralization and everything, like you know, and also like risk of large providers and shitty service typically. But like, you know, what is the rationale for using a smaller provider for something that's still basically off the shelf, but they're going to have to build it like a like you say, a pedestrian spec. And if something goes wrong, you're in an email trail rather than like the thing with the big providers is generally speaking that stuff works till it absolutely doesn't. If you have a problem, that box is toast. It's gone. Forget about it. It ain't never coming back. You don't need to get an email thread because you know it's dead. Like if your Hetzner box goes down, that data center just got wiped off the face of the earth by a tactical.
No, not at all. Dude, those boxes go down all the fucking time. It's like that's a cattle. Like the whole thing is like our servers' pets or our servers' cattle. Like at Hetzner, those servers are fucking cattle. Like they're dealing with thousands of them, and none of them have cases. They're all shoved in a rack somewhere. If something breaks, they rip it out and put another one that looks exactly like it, right? Where at some of these boutiques, like, they don't have that much hardware sitting around, so it's like they're more like pets. Like they got to go take them, and like somebody literally goes and puts a nick into a card or into a board. That would never happen at Hetzner ever. Like they would never have anything that would be 100% redundant, right? They would just go create another one.
Hetzner's probably just got a button in their dashboard that ejects the server into the trash, and a new one just gets automatically shoved in there.
It's like the the Matrix.
That's what I want
to
ideally,
all the hoses pop off it, and the server it comes down a fuck.
I'm kind of
exactly. When you're released from the Matrix, it's like that.
That's exactly what it is. It goes in the back. It shoots out the back of the building into a huge trash pile, and there's a big lorry comes up and picks it up.
I mean,
actually, that would be a pretty good analog because they're water cooled at Hetzner, so they probably do have the plugs that are there.
I mean, the big brain move is just to abstract away until you have to worry about the servers. If only somebody would come up with such a service, I anticipate there might be some money.
And then come monthly for your firstborn.
The only thing by us that can't explode is this freaking Aptos validator. Everything else, I think we run every single thing is redundant. Everything.
Disposable, yeah.
They're all disposable and they're all redundant. Like except for
maybe the eighth stuff.
Literally the one thing that carries is more TVL than anything else that we run. I'm reliant on 2 NVMe drives that are working their asses off.
They are working at the moment. Is your VFN just absolutely smashing not only network connectivity, but
no, I blocked the shit out of fucking connections on that thing.
Yeah, well, so we had that thing, didn't we, a little while ago? So the VFN is still doing a lot of writing, but the network connection is way down. So we had a thing a couple of weeks ago where I just noticed, getting a monitoring ping, being like, "Hey, by the way, your network usage is way up." And I was like, "Okay, that seems." Maybe there's like a load test or something going on that I don't know about, or whatever. Maybe there's a lot of NFT degeneracy going on. Okay, forget about it. And yeah, so I looked into it. I was like, it's probably fine. And it was, I can't remember the numbers. It was big, a lot of traffic. And I posted it. I think you sent Serp a message. I was just like, Serp, like what kind of numbers are you? And it was just like, yeah, you're getting totally rinsed there. Obviously did some digging, and there was just like some project was just using our infra for free, and it was like,
oh really? Yeah.
Must have been, yeah. And it was like time to crack out the block list, like
yeah. Like I read them.
Actually the other way around, just set up an allow list with nothing on it and turn it off.
I don't even know who's hitting the VFN. Like I see a lot of 400s, like a lot of like weird. Block all that fucking shit.
I was just like, look, if somebody has a legitimate use case, they can come to us, and we have an allow list.
Yeah, I still, to be honest, I really don't know how the VFN fits into. Like, I understand how it fits in the kind of ecosystem of the circle of validators and like the next ring and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but I don't know who's hitting that RPC and why. So
I think it's because it's they're publicly identifiable. Like
Correct.
they're very
Mhm.
easy to identify.
They
I
are.
think it's literally that teams who don't want to pay for what we would call RPC, but it's actually PFN in Aptos land.
Yeah.
I think it's people that can't find a PFN that is open, that's
Yeah.
unlimited, and they can easily find a VFN. And because of hysterical raisins, so there were a couple of times in the past, weren't there, where there were specific loads or tests and things done, fair mainly on test nets and things, but also I think at least once on mainnet, that meant you had to allow connections in from either labs or foundation to the VFN. And so maybe people are just making hay off the fact that a lot of people loosen their network policies and then haven't retightened them. That was the root cause in our case, is that the configuration got loosened at some point last year just for the VFN. And then when the new box was reprovisioned, we didn't use the boilerplate, the correct boilerplate. When you have an Ansible repo and you have like 4 branches and they're all called something like Revise Network 1. My Ansible has been very lazy in terms of Git hygiene, so that's a little bit why.
I commit to main every time.
You know what? Well, look, okay, for software development, I'm with you on that. Trunk-based development is the way forward. Trunk development, master race, 100% with you. Another problematic statement. That's 2 today. Good one, Frey.
Hey, before you go off on a tangent for an hour, I just wanted to say, you guys are on your Aptos infrastructure using RAID 1.
I do. Yeah.
Is that MDMA? Whatever the fuck
It's MD.
MDMA.
Yeah. It's MD. It's MD. But if you're thinking it's controlled by
MDMA.
MD admin, NBADM, is that what you're trying to get to?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you guys considered like using something else? Because it's like you can get bitrot on MD, right?
You can.
It's not very good.
I don't know. I don't know if it's not very good. I don't know if that's a 100% true statement. We have used LLVM only on specific things where we've had to do like mirrors on that, because you can do either way if you wanted to. Because LLVM also supports mirrors. We could do ZFS mirrors if we wanted to. That would be fine too. I think it's fast enough. There's not really that much traffic right now.
Well, you're not getting in RAID 1. You're not getting any performance advantage anyway. You should just use ZFS.
Well, there's still a little overhead there, and you have all that. I mean,
you lose about 20% of capacity, but you're not really going to sacrifice any drive speed. You'll actually increase your read speed. But I would just get bigger drives and use ZFS. Like it's going to be way better for you.
Yeah, but this kind of drive level optimization ignores the fact that the slowest part of the stack is the state machine or the network, depending on what's currently happening at that point in time, right? So you can optimize the disk and the drive and everything as much as you like, but if you're doing 18,000 transactions a second using a cryptographic hash function based state machine consensus stack, like you're approaching physical limits on both network and the cryptography. That's the limit. It's not like how fast you can write to disk, because
I'm just saying there's probably better options for your storage, because if you're saying you're butting up against a storage problem now, right? You're running RAID 1. You can't add to it. If you were running ZFS, you could just add another stripe mirror right next to it, and you're good for another year without having to rebuild your thing that you're complaining about.
Yeah, that's pretty true. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But
in that
honestly,
case,
to be honest, like you could state sync those boxes in like minutes, so it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, you get pulled out of consensus.
Sounded like a big deal.
it's
It has.
it's a
Since,
big.
since we've been talking about for 9 episodes, yeah, I would agree with you that it does sound like a big deal, but I don't think it's a.
I've heard about this storage problem a lot.
It's just been different stories
Welcome to
from
Game of
one after
Notes,
the other.
episode 32. We're going to talk about.
But yeah, it's not so much that it's actually that like egregious a problem to state sync, like Serp was saying, but it's more that like the way the incentive model works in Aptos is that you're pretty reasonable. You're penalized strongly for being down. Number one, in terms of just like you're penalized every second you're down, albeit a small amount.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that crucially is that it's very visible when you're down. And it's very visible to the delegator, and you just don't want to be like it's like anything else. If if you've got a nominal 3/9 contract, that's 8 hours of downtime in the year, right? Even if state sync is quick, you're likely to get kicked from consensus, which means a 10-minute cooldown at a minimum. So now you're talking like by the time you're done your fiddling, that's an hour. You know, it adds up. You don't want to do it too often. Would be the review.
Imagine if you had this little bit of ZFS, just stick another mirrored stripe right next to it. You're good to go, baby.
Sure, but the time it would take to get all that shit set up would be the time I need to read the at least 20 papers on my desk that I'm currently need to get through. So
literally 2 commands. You come see Uncle Null, I'll get you sorted.
Well, you gotta wait till you gotta have somebody stick them in there, but yeah,
a bit more than that. But also, it has to be on a you got to configure on a brand new box, right? So at this point, we're stuffed.
yeah. Actually, I was just looking at rewards performance on Aptos because you were talking about rewards performance, and for some reason we're not at 100%, and I'm really kind of fucking annoyed about that. We're at 99.98. Schulte, you're at 99.96. Artifacts 99.92. Polkachu 99.96.
It's all time, right?
No, this is just in the last. This is in. I think they do it based off the last X number of epics. I think. I don't
Did
know
you
how
have
that works,
a
actually.
Did you have a bad peer at some point? Because there were. I know we noticed
There was some
missing-
bitching recently. Yeah, I did see that.
We
Actually,
noticed
all
some
these
missing-
all these numbers are actually pretty shit, except for Stakely, who we work with, which is still at 100%, or Staking Cabinet, I guess. Yeah, it's weird. That's weird. Actually, these numbers are not great. I wonder why. I wonder if that's. I haven't seen any failures or anything, so I'm not sure why that is.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends
Whatever.
how far back it goes. They look like there were some peering issues, maybe like at some point, but not. Wait, inbound, not. Do I mean inbound, not outbound? I think I mean inbound, not outbound. Like the problem was at their end. That one.
All right. So I'm putting a 3-episode ban on talking about disk related issues associated with Aptos. Fucking 3 episodes.
Have you seen the film? Have
minimum.
you seen the film The Creator?
No.
It's
Wait,
quite good.
no.
You should watch it. It's by I want to say his name's Gareth Edwards. He's the guy that did that. What's it called? Monsters. The name of the film.
Yeah. Good soundtrack on that film.
And which was apparently made. I didn't realize this because it looks pretty good. But you know that film was made for like $0. Like they literally went on a road trip and made that film. Like did the filming. And I think he did all the effects himself.
With like hand puppets and shit.
Well, I guess so. I mean, well, CG, but yeah.
That's John. Who wrote that? That's a great soundtrack. That's fucking hell. I'm thinking about John Hopkins, right? John Hopkins wrote that.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah, I think he wrote the soundtrack for Monsters.
Okay, I mean that.
I'm a big John Hopkins. That guy's awesome.
You are correct.
Is it?
John
Yeah.
Hopkins.
Yeah.
Great.
Great.
Actually, do you know Max Cooper?
No, is that like his butler or something?
Like hot take, Max Cooper is the better John Hopkins. But if you're into John Hopkins, you're almost certainly like Max Cooper. Check out a track from the album's a few years old now actually, but he's got some new stuff out. You should check out, it's really good as well. But like check out some like if I just wanted to give you like one track to be like guaranteed just stone cold killer track, you're gonna be like, fuck yeah, let's go. Perpetual Motion by Max Cooper. Absolute banger.
Yeah. Like
Absolute
it's-
rager.
some of those are like Hopkins. Like I think he was my intro to like that whole genre. I think it was Opalescent. Is that what that album's called? I forget what that one he did like back in the late early 2000s or something. I think it was Opalescent, and that like opened my eyes to like a ton of shit. Like
yeah, I mean John Hopkins is very good. I'm being
He's very
facetious.
good.
I'm just a big fan of like John Hopkins. I kind of went some of the other things, and then like Max Cooper, and then John Hopkins, I guess, as an influence. So going back the other way,
Yeah,
I'm kind of like, I like John Hopkins, and yeah, it's good.
let's see. Hopkins born in 79.
Budget was 500K for Monsters, and I guess that's on the watch list today now.
I remember that movie being
Do I have to
good
concentrate?
actually. It wasn't bad, right? I thought it was pretty decent.
It was good. Good.
Kind of cheesy at the end.
Yeah, I mean, the like it was made an absolute shoestring, and then his next film was Rogue One, I think.
Rogue One.
Yeah, like pretty big.
The Star Wars movie.
Yeah, pretty big jump up. Yeah, I think it literally did. I feel like I've not imagined that. It's like Monsters and then Rogue One.
like that seems like a pretty big jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's up though. I think it's probably
Rogue One's pretty. No, Rogue One was pretty decent.
Great. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's fucking shit.
No.
Oh, Godzilla! He did fucking Godzilla.
Better than the 789, right?
Better than Solo.
Talking about Star Wars Rogue One.
Yeah.
Unquestionably better than 7, 8, and 9 for sure.
What is there another Rogue One?
No, Rogue One. That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah. Whoa.
I just thought there might have been some kind of niche indie fucking weird shit you were talking about.
Other than the weird casino sequence, 8 was great. What the fuck are you talking about?
I couldn't even tell you what the fuck 8 was.
8 was the one where it had the bombing scene where it's like the Memphis
Is that
Belle.
Jar Jar?
Like it's got the straight reference to like the Memphis Belle, and it has the final fight where it's like in the throne room, and it's like a direct reference to Akira Kurosawa. It's like the whole Ran thing. And then there's the bit on the planet with the red, the white salt, and then the red underneath.
No, you need to stand down. You need to stand down. Here's the thing. As an individual movie...
Schulte has it unmuted for 3 episodes. As soon as we start shitting on Star Wars movies, he's like, hold the fucking phone.
I only ever watched 4, 5, and 6 on repeat.
He's like 8. I'm defending 8. And Schultz
just
is
shut up.
Stand down.
As an individual movie, 8 is like fine. Like there's absolutely parts you can enjoy about it. As a portion of a trilogy or as a portion of Star Wars in general, it's filthy. Absolutely filthy.
Which one is 8? Oh, that's Last Jedi.
Yeah. That's the one where basically the entire thing is like 2 ships are slowly trailing each other through space for like 3.5 hours. And they're like, well, we can't speed up because we can't speed up. So we just got to keep going real slow right behind them.
Is that the one where Luke like lives on the top of a mountain that nobody could possibly live on?
I mean, it is Star Wars. It's not hard sci-fi.
Lives on a rock.
Perhaps I suspend more disbelief when I watch Star Wars. I'm just like, for reasons that ship can't go any faster. For the same reasons that literally X-wings fight in space like dogfighting. What the fuck? That's not how physics works.
Well, so that's fine though, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, as an individual movie, 8 is like fine and kind of enjoyable. It just, the fact that it goes so deep into like trying to be edgy and like unreliable, that just kills me. Like, okay, what's his name? The former Star Trooper guy who was supposed to be Force sensitive, right? In 8, they decided to just get rid of all of that. Absolutely not. Super dumb. I don't accept it. It's right out.
Oh, Finn.
Finn.
Yeah, I mean,
Finn.
I mean, John Boyega got done incredibly dirty. In fact, in those films in general, I genuinely thought that what was going to happen, I genuinely thought that Finn was going to turn out to be the Jedi in the end. Rey would maybe turn to the dark side, and that but I just had a really strong chemistry vibe between Poe Dameron and what's his name, Oscar Isaacs. Is that right? And John Boyega. And I was just like, it's like, is it gonna be like a a bromance, or is it gonna be
A bromance.
is it gonna be a Brokeback Mountain man's whatever? Anyway,
That's the thing. That's the point, right?
they
The
could have
point
taken more
is,
risk with it.
yes, the point is in 7, they did a really good job setting up a bunch of things that they could have gone like full throttle on. And then 8, with the new director, I can't remember who the director is, which I'm ashamed of, was like, nah, guys, I've got this great idea. Let's ignore all of that. That's why I don't like 8.
So 7 was
Isn't Last Jedi the guy that did the amazing film Moon? Isn't it the same guy?
well 7 was J.J. Abrams, wasn't it?
Yeah, so yeah,
7
but
was J.J. Abrams,
yeah,
so was 9.
Abrams.
So was 9. So who did 8? Like,
Yeah, Rian Johnson. He's the guy that did Moon, isn't he?
oh, is it?
Oh
maybe.
no, fuck! He's the guy that did Brick. That is a fucking film.
The fuck is Brick?
That is a fucking film. Oh my god!
Really?
What an amazing film. Have you not seen Brick?
It does not sound familiar. No.
Jesus fucking. Okay, so basically, it's like it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's it's like an American high school in I guess it must be West Coast because the weather looks good. And it's basically like it has all of the stylistic kind of trope, the stuff you recognize from like the trope of like film noir, and like especially like the Raymond Chandler novels, stuff like that, Big Sleep and all that. But it's basically just like there's been a murder at the school and he's a fucking loner and he's going to figure out what happened. It's just it's just one of those really good slow burn, like dark. Yeah, I mean, like it's just a film noir, but it's just like happens to be this like teenage kid just like trying to work out what the fuck happened to this person at school. It's a absolutely cracking film. Really good.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, really?
Yeah, it's really good. He just like his character is like he's an outsider and he's punchable. But he's just will walk up to people and he's just like, I'm going to just ask you a question, and then they punch him in the face, and he's like,
What's that?
Well, okay.
What's that Jeff Ross joke? Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the 3 most boring words behind gluten-free cracker. Is that guy? What movie is he? I can't think of a single movie that he's made that I can.
Spider-Man?
That is,
Is that the guy? Is that the Spider-Man guy? No.
No, I don't think he was Spider-Man.
Third Rock from the Sun.
Wasn't he?
I enjoyed him in that.
That's right. He
was also in.
It was pretty.
What's that one with
Batman,
Bruce Willis?
and he was also in Inception.
And
Yep.
what's the one with
500 Days of
Bruce
Summer as
Willis
well?
too? He was in Glass Onion. That's right.
Oh, he was also in Looper, the one with Bruce
Looper.
Willis,
That's the one.
which
All
is
right, that was
also,
not bad.
that's also Rian Johnson.
What Looper is?
Yeah, the guy who did
Oh, okay.
Brick.
Yeah.
Looper was his second film, I think.
Who also did Episode 8? Is what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So it's
Yep,
been a rocky
that's
road.
correct.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah, but he's like he has some good films, right? I would say Brick, Looper, Star Wars. He has some dodgy ones,
Fun-
like
Funky
Knives
giving
Out,
me,
Glass
Funky giving
Onion.
me shit about shitting on Joseph JGL. Look at the JGL defenders.
Yeah, I'm now on JGL's filmography because there's got to be.
Can we leave it? I just want to
Who's
leave
in
this up.
Beethoven?
I want to leave this up for this this Rama quote for all future episodes.
Oh, of course, he was in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh man.
He was
was
in the
he? I
Dark.
don't think I
The Dark
realized
Knight.
that.
He was in the Dark
He
Knight.
was, yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I was about to say, oh yeah, he was in Brick, and then I realized that's literally what I've just been shilling.
That's
for
what
the
we've been
last
talking
10
about.
minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a good actor. He is a good actor. I don't have to like him.
He's
That's 'cause
been in
he's a
some
good
shit
actor. Come
films
on.
as well, though, mind you. There's some Premium
So if you
Rush.
had-
Have you seen fucking
you had-
Premium Rush? It's amazing. It's the whole concept of the film is it's like it's just a fixed gear courier in Manhattan, but
Oh
It's-
yeah, I have seen that.
yeah, but it's super cool because they actually did a lot of it as practical stunts. So it genuinely is like really quite intense because you're like, fucking hell, this looks dangerous. It's like, yeah, it's because it is.
Hard pass.
You know
Good
what?
film.
For some
If you
reason, I
had
thought that was in
to-
Chicago, not Manhattan.
Maybe it is Chicago. Actually, that would.
It's
totally
not. I've
make
just
sense.
checked. It is Manhattan.
Oh, it's set. It's set in. Where was it filmed? Oh, no, it was filmed in New York City.
If
Oh,
you
there
had
you
to
go.
pick a
Gordon,
Star
Gordon
Wars,
Levitt was injured during filming when he rode into the back of a taxi on a fixed gear. Oh dear.
if you all had to
Speed.
pick a Star Wars, which one would it be?
Empire.
Star Wars that you like, or what? Just Star Wars. If you had to pick a Star
Your
Wars,
best, the best one. Which one? What's the favorite?
Fucking Empire.
Yeah, of course.
I really enjoyed The Mandalorian. I would go with The Mandalorian.
Boomer
The
checking
TV
in.
The
series.
TV show or the movie?
Is there a
There was a
Mandalorian
cartoon
movie?
movie. I think there's a cartoon movie.
TV show then, and really
I
only the
would
first
go-
2 seasons. The third season was pretty weak.
Phantom
Yeah.
Menace.
Oh, really?
Of course not.
There's something about like The Empire Strikes Back was when I was in like primary school, I think, and I used to
No.
go like to this well, maybe
You were younger than
early high
that.
school.
I was in primary school when that happened.
Well, I used to catch the bus. Like, there's a bus stop in the middle of our bus routes, and we used to always go into what was the Maya then
By the
in my hometown.
Human memory is so
And they
fucking
had-
awesome because like you like relate this Empire Strikes Back to I was on this bus and I know exactly what that bus was.
Well, in this Maya, right? They had this console set up, back I don't know what fucking console, some sort of PlayStation situation probably,
Uh-huh.
and like that's what we'd do in between the buses. We had half an hour. We'd rip into Maya and then just go and stand there and play at this console. And they had the Empire Strikes Back. You know that the part where the AT-ATs are wandering around in the snow.
Uh-huh.
So in the game you have to go and like rope their feet and shit.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I
And
remember.
so yeah, man, it's just I remember that so hard. It was just a feeling I got. It's great. I love that movie and I love that game. It's good.
Yep.
Yeah, to be fair, that sequence at the beginning of Empire is really good. The rest of the film is like,
No, wait, no, wait, not at all.
I don't know.
I learned some good life lessons too. Like if I ever find myself out in the cold, I'm just going to cut open a camel and sleep in it.
Got to fight a kangaroo to the death and just fucking cut it open.
I think the problem is that like actually the prequels,
Come on, motherfucker.
the third one of the prequels is probably the best one of the prequels, which is a low bar, granted, but it's maybe the most interesting out of those three. But for the other two series, Return of the Jedi is the weakest of that trilogy, and obviously, I literally can't even remember what it's called. Rise of Skywalker was just a fucking waste of time. Like,
I don't think
what a
Return
piece
was
of
the
shit.
weakest. Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry. I was
Jedi was the weakest. Rise of
Yeah.
Skywalker was the weakest. But in the prequels, they were also bad. But the third one was probably the best because it had the most killing, and it had that hilarious scene where it's like, "I have the high ground, Anakin,"
Yeah.
and
It's
it
fucking
fucking
dumb.
slices him in two, just murks him good. Crack!
just-
It's
that was just
crack
poor
for the memes.
Yeah.
Just for the memes.
That was poor staffing, I think. I don't know if I would have picked either. Of
Oh,
those
and the
actors for that.
Execute Order 66. Yeah, the third one of the prequels is definitely the best one. It's got all the meme moments where you just see all the fucking Jedi's getting absolutely murked. And Samuel L.
The
Jackson.
third one of the prequels. Do you mean number 3?
Yeah,
He does. Yeah.
Yeah, right. You keep
Like-
saying it a weird
I like
way.
I like Ewan McGregor. I just don't know if I would have picked him for early Jedi or for early Obi-Wan. I don't know.
I mean, those films just shouldn't have been made. That's
I mean,
Good
that's what it is. I think Lucas was just like, it's amazing when he actually gave up the reins because I think looked back and said like you shouldn't be in this situation of doing that, but he should have gave up those reins way earlier than that. Because that whole thing with like, if you ever watched like the making of those, oh my god, it's embarrassing. It's like,
Well, yeah, that's the good bit. In the original trilogy, the reason why it works so well is because I guess like his wife had a very strong like, no, we're not doing that type of thing. And
Yeah.
then I think they got divorced, and for the prequels, he had like no one to rein him in, and he was just like, "Here we go."
it's amazing like how human those things are, right? Like huge, massive thing, and like all these people and like $4 billion movie structure, and just somebody's like his wife comes in and be like, that's fucking dumb. Who
Yeah,
who has the
exactly.
balls to tell George Lucas, dude, like Jar Jar should not walk like this, and he looks like a fucking idiot, and he talks like a fucking idiot. Like,
Idiot.
this should not happen.
Absolute idiot.
This should not
Yeah.
happen. Like nobody has the nuts to actually go be like George, this is a fucking
You're
disaster.
fucking up.
But his
Rein
wife
it
is like,
in.
his wife gets home and is like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Did you
You
ever get
know-
that? You know the Sith. What's the fucking the meme where it
Darth Maul.
Another
because
shitty
they talk
character,
about
like-
there's another Sith. Like in the whole point is they're waiting for the other Sith to be revealed, and like there was like the internet joke that it was actually Jar Jar because he consistently advances the plot by working for the bad guys but looking all
amazing.
clumsy, and it was like the Darth Jar Jar meme. That was the best thing about the prequels actually. Was
I really
I-
enjoyed
I
that
think-
fan theory.
I think that the prequels would have been a completely different fucking like vibe. I reckon you would have loved them if Samuel Jackson was Obi-Wan and it was in the style of Training Day.
If this was a completely different movie, you would have loved it.
yeah,
Same
you
mo-
had a different world, different setting, different characters, different writer, director,
same
producer.
movie.
Same
But
But
movie.
basically the
Same
same
movie.
movie. I mean, what I really mean is the Shaft reboot was quite good and I enjoyed it, but wouldn't it have been great if the prequels were also good? That's basically what you just said.
Shaft 2000.
What?
Shaft, yes.
What? What? You don't think the original?
Was there 2 remakes of Shaft? Okay,
Lot.
he locked up.
And he's gone.
Got to reboot him. What the hell happened?
So outraged.
what
You gotta
happens
when
reboot
you
it. Just reboot
What
yourself.
do you mean the
This is
original?
what happens when
you
you
don't
use
like
a
the
boutique
original
null
Shaft?
and not one of those cloud provision nulls. If we use a cloud provision
What happened?
virtualized null, he'd stay up. We'd get like five nines of uptime. Instead, we're using this boutique null provider, and he just keeps disappearing from the stream. That's what
Oh my
happens. They're just going to
goodness.
keep replugging in, poking it with a broom or whatever it is they do down in that data center.
I don't understand. Are you saying that you didn't like the original Shaft? Is that?
No, I'm just saying that
It's
you
not.
you just said a film with Samuel L. Jackson where he just goes it around and because obviously Training Day is Denzel Washington, right? You just said
Is.
Yeah.
said like a film like Training Day where like I assume what you mean is Samuel L. Jackson goes around and kicks people in the ass, which is Shaft, which was sort of contemporary to the prequels. What you're saying is you prefer Shaft reboot to the prequels.
I'm saying like the style of the training, because like the Jedi training with Ewan McGregor's like, hey, fucking, yeah. If it was a Shaft situation, or not Shaft, Samuel Jackson situation,
I told
we
you.
were like, lots more motherfuckers, and you might have had some good one-liners like snakes.
So in the chat,
Like
in the chat, Funky has said Darth Maul was a badass at least. Darth Maul was British comedian Peter Serafinovich.
he was a Nancy.
His
I
what?
thought he might have had a mental disorder. Like,
Have you? Okay, so if you okay, whatever you think of Darth Maul, look up Peter Serafinovich if you haven't, because I would imagine that his humor has not made it to America, but he's a reasonably
Yeah, sure he is.
really okay.
Yeah,
well, there
yeah,
you go.
yeah.
So like the 50, like all the stuff he did in the 2000s.
And he hosts
Brian
a show
Butterfield.
too, doesn't he? Like some sort of show?
Yeah, well, Peter Serafinovich show.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it's called? Oh.
Yeah, we did like Brian Butterfield,
Wait.
the Butterfield Diet.
So did he play?
This says Ray Park plays Darth Maul.
What?
Maybe it
IMDb
changed over
says
the. Well,
that
okay, so-
Ray Park.
Maybe
plays
he
Darth Maul.
just voiced him.
IMDb's wrong.
Oh, maybe I'm totally wrong. I thought that it was Peter Serafinovich, but I could be wrong.
It just
Unrelated.
It just wasn't.
Can you guess what the Shaft catchphrase is from the original? Shaft's his name. shafts his game. That's it.
That was like that was like the movie subtitle.
Yeah.
Yeesh. That was what
That's
that's
like
that
early
checked
70s,
out.
right? 71, 72.
That's
something
pretty
like that.
fucking bad. Yeah,
So
71.
Schultzy's right. There was an actor who, just like Darth Vader in the originals, there's an actor who played Darth Maul, and then he was voiced by Peter Serafinovich, but Peter
Oh, there you go.
Serafinovich wasn't in the movie.
Okay.
So I didn't know
There
that.
you
I
go.
thought he both was stomping around, which is kind of like, that's kind of spoiled that movie in some ways, because like I used to just find it very funny. It's just like, it's Peter Serafinovich in a big cape. That's enjoyable. But now I know it's just some guy who's good at stunts. It's not like a middle-aged British comedian in a big coat.
Yeah.
Which is a really funny mental image, right? You know, he just looks like a normal guy. So you're just like, is that Peter Serafinovich? But no. So
It's not a great Star Wars character. Just
I'll tell you what.
doesn't,
I'll tell you
like,
what
it doesn't
about.
invoke like the hate. You know what I mean? You kind of like want to root there for the guy, which is not really a good trait.
The thing to be said for Phantom Menace actually is it does have the best soundtrack out of the originals. Not the originals, the prequels, because it has Duel of the Fates, right, which is the best of all the, possibly the best Star Wars theme. Full stop. Actually, is Duel of the Fates.
No clue.
I
would agree with that.
It's the climax music for the fight at the end of Phantom Menace.
But out of of all the John Williams Star Wars soundtracks?
No, let's just exclude the main theme. But I think
there's only the best by far John Williams piece of music is the asteroid theme in Empire. 100%. More than any other piece.
More than the theme. More than Duel of the
More
Fates.
than the main theme. More than the ending theme. The actual.
We're getting demonetized over this.
It's not even a question. Like the asteroids thing, when Han lands the asteroid into the mouth on that thing, when they actually go through there and then like they go into the asteroid field and all that thing. That piece of music, by far more than any other Star Wars piece of music, is 100% the best. 100%. I'll link it in the show notes. It is.
Look.
It is by far
what if you were saying
more than anything else.
Theme, I would.
Dude, you're not even close. Like it is. I don't even know how you guys do. Like I'm shocked.
Not even the triumphal music at the end of New Hope.
No, not even close.
Lots of good
with fucking
that ain't
3PO sitting up there in his suit and all that shit. None of that shit. Like the asteroid field theme, by far, 100% the best piece of Star Wars music ever written. And actually, I think John Williams' best piece of Star Wars music, maybe best. Wait, let me rephrase that. The best piece of John Williams' music ever written is that theme. That theme is unbelievable. It's only like 3 minutes long too. It's like incredible. I'll put it in 100%. Like, it's amazing.
Okay, but we can all agree that the
nuts.
pause music for GoldenEye on the N64 is still the hardest soundtrack of all time, right?
Yeah, I mean, anything break down to 16-bit, yeah, of course.
It's all about that noise, that sound. Anybody who grew up in the 90s, you can literally play it. That kind of weird reverb gong sound from the GoldenEye soundtrack, and people's heads turn.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, a fun trick, if anybody here does get the chance to ever do this, if you do sound at a small gig, something like that, and you get to play music before the bands or between the bands, make sure you have a tiny little sample of that loaded on the MP3 player. Just make sure it's in the shuffle rotation so it comes up at some point, and you will see a bunch of people standing around waiting to see whatever kind of music it is, some metal band, right? Standing around with their beers, and then there'll just be a moment where they think that reality just glitched, and they will do this. And then they go back to their beer, and they're not sure what just happened. It's amazing. And yes, I did used to do that. In fact, I sampled it quite a bit. It's really there are a number of them. I'm really interested in how that soundtrack was made, actually. But let's not even get into it. But it's a really cool sample, whatever it is. I assume it's a gong of some kind.
It's a gong. That one in the original Nintendo Hockey soundtrack. Nintendo Hockey on the original Nintendo, when you actually made somebody bleed, that noise, I can hear that noise and know exactly where it comes from.
I would say one of the bigger discrepancies between like a bad movie and a great soundtrack is Braveheart. The Braveheart soundtrack like goes really hard, in my opinion, but the movie itself just falls flat.
Goodness, really?
What?
Does nobody know what the Braveheart soundtrack is?
Yeah, I'm literally trying to picture it.
I'm
And
not
I'm
questioning
like,
the soundtrack. I'm questioning the Braveheart.
A
great movie.
is a fucking great
what?
movie.
Braveheart's bullshit.
It's like pretty okay, but that's as much as I'll give
It's
it.
so, like,
But
I mean,
the
it's
soundtrack,
the memes.
so good.
The memes are funny about Braveheart.
Excuse me,
That film is
sorry,
really
not-
long.
Sorry, not Braveheart, Dragonheart. I meant Dragonheart.
Oh shit! What the fuck?
Oh, why did you fucking say?
We were definitely not on the same page about Braveheart.
It's so funny. They do that so funny.
What's the one with
I
Sean
reacted
Connery
so
with the
strongly
fucking
to that Braveheart thing that I've accidentally locked the back of my chair, and when you accidentally lock your chair to board rigid, like if you lean back, it punches you in the back of the head, and now I can't. I
You're like,
fucked it.
wait, I didn't mean Goodfellas. I meant Weekend at Bernie's. My bad. I
Yeah.
totally fucked it up. Fucking hell.
what's the Sean Connery movie with where he goes fucking back and forward in time, or he is from the past?
Highlander.
Highlander?
Highlander, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's got a hard soundtrack.
The best thing about
Spanish
Highlander,
with the Scottish accent.
the bit where they're in the boat,
Yeah.
and the main guy who's Dutch or whatever is trying to do a Scottish accent and sounds like Spanish, and then Sean Connery, who's supposed to be Spanish, is just like, "Yes, well, I was a Spaniard," and you're just like, "Could you guys
So
just
good.
switch? Just switch, because Dutch guy, you sound Spanish. Sean, you sound like Sean.
It's fine. Close enough.
Such a good fucking movie. Oh, serious.
It's a
Oh man. All right. So what? We have any homework for movie watching?
The
What did we
Rock-
say? Oh, you said The Brick, right? Brick.
Brick is great.
I
So
gotta watch
the-
that. I'm gonna be
okay, so
disappointed.
we've
I
been
already
talking
know I'm gonna
for-
be
We've
disappointed.
been
Even
talking
by-
like 30 minutes now about the various things that Joseph Gordon-Levitt has been in, or whatever the fuck. The point I was going to say was I was going to recommend the film The Creator, which is it's not by Rian Johnson, it's by Gareth Edwards, and it's got a thingy from Tenet in it.
the thingy from Tenet,
No, the actor,
An actor?
obviously.
the main actor.
David Washington, John David Washington. There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is in it, and it's pretty good.
He's in The Creator.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's quite woolly. There are some bits of it, but there's specifically one bit, right, where there's like a space station and a satellite watching what's going on, and some people get into a boat and sail off, and then everyone's like, "Where did they go?" And it's like, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe just like use the thing that was following them from space to figure out where they went." There are a few bits like that where they just needed to advance the plot, and you could tell that they maybe didn't have the budget or time to fucking figure it out. Basically, there are some bits where it definitely feels like they were on a schedule, and they've done an incredibly good job with what they had access to.
That's good enough. Yeah.
But there's a couple of things where you're just like, that doesn't fully make sense, but I'm going to go with it in the interest of, but it, for the most part, it's actually a pretty good film. It has some, the graphics and everything in it are absolutely incredible. The world building is really impressive.
All right. So The Creator of Brick. What am I watching this week? Just cut down to it.
Created sci-fi.
Just tell me.
Space stations and shit.
Decision.
Brick's the better
Monsters
film.
and Brick for me.
Brick's the better film. Brick
Yeah,
is,
I watch a
Brick
Brick.
is-
All right. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
We're 113 episodes in. We got a long ways to go. Like, it's fine. I could watch the next one next week. All right, Brick. That's our homework.
So, moving on. Did you see this shit with Roaring Kitty? He's been
GameStop again.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
touted as the internet Warren Buffett.
That's something.
I think. What do you think the chances are that the SEC picked this guy up for insider trading?
He's an influencing, but it's not an insider, right? He doesn't know anything. He's just influencing horrible decisions.
If you influence the market and you buy shit before you do it and then you dump it, I'm pretty sure it's still insider trading.
Yeah, but he already did that one time, right?
But he's not.
Or did he
officer,
sell?
So
Did he sell?
This isn't the original GameStop guy, is it?
Well, if it's Roaring Kitty, it is. Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Is it? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's why Roaring Kitty is an important cultural thing.
Well,
Mel's just like, wait a minute. You telling me GameStop will happen because of Roaring Kitty? I mean, essentially, yes. No, that is what we're saying.
I thought that the guy's name was different, but anyway. So yeah, I mean, GameStop
Actually,
pumped on his memes.
It did yesterday. It was up like I think 70% yesterday or something. It dumped from, well, let's see, May 13th. It jumped from $17 to a peak of $64 over 24 hours. And then today, I know it dumped a bunch because I was watching it. I'm not an investor in GameStop. I saw it dumping back down to like $30, so it dropped like 50% over the course of another 24 hours. And right now, it's actually working its way back up to 39 because everybody's telling their relatives to buy the shit to bail them out.
Yeah, is this just lazy investing? Like, I feel like it's just trying to jump on a pump.
Is he back?
Rather than
he doesn't look like he's back.
He made a message on like Monday to cause the craze.
Yeah, on the 13th.
I don't know if that would be since then.
No, I don't think so either.
Because it doesn't look like he's posted shit. There's nothing on his Twitter either. Is that?
They said the thing I read said he hadn't posted in like 3 years.
Yeah, 18th of Feb 2021 is the last post.
But he does have like 1.2 million subscribers on.
Yeah, but he's not. So when we say is he back, is that just that he's reactivated his Twitter account from being inactive?
I don't think he's.
Well, he created.
He came back in this. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the only thing he's back for is I think he created some content around GameStop and then that was it.
Well, there's no content here on his Twitter account. There's no content on his YouTube account.
Well, he mainly posted on Reddit, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's all Reddit. Yep. So it's down. What is it today? Down 8% after hours. Last 24 hours is down 20% today. So it opened this morning at around $40, I think.
Well, yesterday they stopped trading 16 times.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, halted trading.
Fucking stop, degens. Something that doesn't happen in crypto, right? It's fun
because permissionless, you can keep degeneration going on.
Just keep shoveling shit in there. It's fine, 24/7, baby.
Shoveling shit in there 24/7, and don't worry, there's absolutely no way that institutions
training wheels are off.
Take advantage of that off. Yeah, I mean, all that's going to happen is that any kind of vestige of the idea that it's an even playing field is going to vanish as soon as the institutions work out. Wait a minute, we can just like rug people, and there's probably zero consequences.
It's all good. It's fine. It's just boys will be boys.
People will
with hat will never die.
People will just like get completely owned and then just be like, oh well, I guess I deserved it because everybody is like a bootlicker in crypto.
This dog with hat has been a fucking roller coaster.
What's happening now?
What did I buy it like 5 episodes ago? It's like
I think so,
up and down and up and down.
Are you holding? You're holding?
Yeah, fucking diamond fisting that shit.
Are you down then? I assume
you're looking at a future millionaire. I am down too far to sell.
That's what it's called. That's diamond fisting.
Josh Schaefer. I'm actually up about 20%.
Josh Schaefer from Yahoo Finance reports GameStop's Roaring Kitty surge doesn't mean meme stock rally has legs. That is some good reporting right there, dude. No shit, man. Good job. Good job.
You've smashed it.
What they pay for that? For that fucking
it's
article.
Still a shit company with no revenue. So.
Wow. It's amazing. The fundamentals still aren't there. Yeah, no shit, dude.
Wow. They really, yeah. Well done, champion.
Well done. Well done. Man.
It's like that Australian joke. For some reason I've got that Australian joke in my head where it's just like what people say versus what they mean, and there's like a variety of ones in different countries, like different nationalities, and the Australian one is how you going, champ? You are about to die. It's like, oh, what brilliant turn of phrase.
Incredible. Yep. So I don't know.
Not frowning. He's like, I call all my friends champ.
I don't think I've heard anyone call anyone champ since the fucking 90s.
Champ. The other one's got a style as Chief.
Hey, champ.
Chief used to be like huge
Oh,
in the 90s.
Chief.
What's up, Chief?
Fuck.
Oh, I forgot about Chief.
What's up, Chief?
Uh,
Yeah, that one's no bueno.
Did you say you've read about Chief?
no. I forgot about Chief.
I thought you were like, no, man. I'm so young. I had to read about
Schultz
it.
has got a book. He's blowing dust off it.
The 90s.
The 90s. Oh, man.
We remember those. Yeah, Roaring Kitty's back. GME's back.
No, I mean, by next week, I'm sure this will be back down to $17.
Back down to nothing.
It doesn't have to.
Hey,
It doesn't have to stay
What-
high. It just has to peak, right? Then you sell it all, and you get out.
Well, I think that's
That's it.
what
That's the
that's what
secret.
stung us as validators several times in the last few
Believing.
bull cycles.
Yeah, diamond fisting that shit coin into dust.
We're supposed to be we're supposed to be the ones abusing other people as they exit liquidity, but instead, in a cruel twist of fate,
Instead, in a cruel fisted. That's right.
it turns out I was thinking about this in this paper that I've interminably at the draft stage. At one point, I had to lay out the usual kind of agents in the system for a blockchain, and it's got foundation, core dev team, validators or node operators, stakers or holders, blah blah blah. Anyway, and as soon as you lay it out like that, you're like, oh, it's just like liquidity, isn't it? Just like, who is getting rugged? It's a pyramid. And then when you kind of organize it by number of people in that entity class, foundation, developer team, validators, it is literally a pyramid. And you're like, not only is the pyramid a pyramid scheme, but it is actually also, as an organizational dynamic chart, a pyramid scheme. Just all of it.
Yeah.
You're not
100%.
supposed to say those things out
Don't say-
loud.
Yeah.
using the outside voice to say the inside thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Your
We know.
filter broke.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I noticed on last week's show notes. I don't think we got to it, but there's this whole thing about there's going to be like new UK regulation. It's like, why the fuck would anybody care about any new UK regulation when there's about to be a change in government?
It's gonna be a change in government.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I think.
when's that coming? Is there a vote coming?
So in the UK, we historically don't have like fixed term parliaments. A government realizes it can't govern anymore and it calls a general election. That's historically how it works. And then about 10 years ago,
Don't make me sorry I asked this question.
15 years ago, they introduced a fixed term parliaments bill,
Sure.
which meant you had to have a fixed term. But then since then, we've had 6 elections.
Yeah.
So obviously the Fixed Term Parliaments Act is very real, and we should believe that that's when elections will happen. In practice,
Okay.
nothing has changed, right? Yeah, basically the country is physically falling apart. Everything's fucked. Everybody's on strike. The entire thing. Just they can't go on any longer. It's just a complete. Everybody's just placing bets on when it's going to happen. It's got to happen. But
Speaking of the British government, great British movie come out recently, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
what that?
Quite a good flick. Sorry?
What this?
Yeah, it's a film.
The film?
Yeah, good ratings. Henry Cavill, the lead man. Gus March Phillips.
All right.
You would know this story, the Fray, from the World War II.
Is
About
it the
stopping the
formation?
U-boats.
Is it the formation of the SOE?
You're gonna, yeah. Special operations executive.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I would know a little bit about it probably.
Yeah,
Actually,
with James Bond in there.
if you, oh yeah, of course, Ian Fleming. Yeah. So have you seen the? It was on the BBC, but it had a pretty good production budget. It's actually like pretty good. If you enjoyed that, you should probably watch SAS Rogue Heroes.
Is that like some sort of documentary?
It's no. It's a drama. It's a drama about
Thank
the
fuck.
people that kind of set up the SAS.
Our pass.
And yeah, it's basically just like there are a bunch of guys just driving around the desert, fucking up stuff that the Germans had in North Africa, just kind of, way out in the deep desert in Land Rovers. And people were like, this seems like the what was it called, the Long Range Desert Expeditionary Group. And then some people were like, what if we got you guys to jump out of planes? What about that? And it's like it's
I mean,
like, yeah, I mean, it's obviously like lightly. There's like a lot of what's it called? There's a lot of print the myth, print the legend. Don't necessarily print the real thing, but it's a fun series. You get to see a lot of stuff kind of blown up. There's a lot of If you like a film like the one you've just described, I'm almost like to say like 80-90% certainty you probably want to see a bunch of very socially maladjusted British people stabbing German sentries in the middle of the night in North Africa, going, "Oh bloody hell! Oh, this one's a bleeder." That's probably sounds like the sort of thing that you'd enjoy. So, SAS Rogue Heroes, you should watch it.
I'll put it on the list. There was another one on Netflix of similar vein to this as well. I can't remember what it was called.
Any other blockchain news you want to talk about?
I was trying to bring up the AA DAO thing, but I was actually just going to ask, does anyone know what the fuck is the deal with this AA DAO thing? I feel like Rama's got like a bit bent out of shape about the AA DAO. Seems to always be a lot of news about the AA DAO.
Is that true, Rama? Rama?
Like I was
on AA DAO? That's crazy.
I was trying to read like this block of text, and it just seemed like a fucking bent out of shape rant.
Like he's typing with his fists.
Yeah, he's typing with a machine gun.
I'm led to believe that fighting around the world is the Australian way. No,
that's so funny.
Like on a little tugboat.
Yeah, that's the one. Come on, Tugger.
Yeah, so can anyone explain that to me? Because I've read it 3 times, I still don't get it.
So I don't know specifically what he's done, but so there's going to be an oversight. So there's currently an oversight committee for the AA DAO. If I remember correctly, there's 2 members right now, and they want to elect a third. And the third is divided amongst a member of SG1, someone who is kind of outside of crypto. And
who is it from SG1? Is it Tosh or is it
Clyde?
Oh, there's more than 2 people in SG1.
So there's a third?
I think there's several more now. And someone called Cosmos Nanny. Her name was Grace, I believe. And so the request was everyone should abstain on the people you don't want and yes on the people you do. It goes without saying that SG1 voted yes on themselves. But there's also a lot of drama around validators having just voted yes on all of them or no on all of them or abstain on all of them. So right now Clyde is winning because SG1 is like 7% of the Cosmos Hub vote.
Why abstain and not no?
Is this and there's one winner for this, right? Is that what it is? It's not like 2
so it's 3 proposals. 3
Okay.
proposals, yeah. So instead of implementing like a radio button, they have to vote separately on each one.
Instead of just implementing a DAO structure where you could actually do a multi-select or a single select. We're in this situation.
That'd be wild, crazy.
That's fucking crazy. Let's
I
use
mean,
this.
it's maybe
Let's
they
use
should
this
just.
antiquated governance process to.
I also love the fact that it's a blockchain, right? There's no governance structure. They can do whatever they want from a blank slate, and they're like, yeah, let's re-implement first past the post, the objectively, statistically, mathematically proven, socially dynamics proven, suboptimal voting strategy. They could just you're just like, and then they're like, oh, and also let's let validators vote, therefore invalidating the whole purpose of the procedure, because you're basically just saying, yes, let's just have the ruling class elect themselves.
So I guess they're
Exactly.
just going to count yeses, right? And the no's and abstains don't matter. Is that what the idea is here?
So originally, it wasn't really planned for how they would handle it. There's instructions to vote abstain, and no.
Oh, I see.
I don't remember if no provides anything. But part of the debate is at this point that people aren't following directions, right? And
Yeah.
really, if everyone votes yes on someone, then they should just not count those votes. Or if someone votes no on everything, or if someone's abstain on everything. But
Yeah. Well, Matt Brown by far has the most number of no votes. Grace has a few no votes, and then Clyde has very little. But looks like Clyde Carver is leading the race at this point.
so I think there's an issue in which he's also like part of AA DAO, so it'll be like him
Perfect.
overseeing himself, if I remember correctly. There's something fun about that somewhere.
This is one of those things where validators should not vote. 100%. They should be 100% abstain. This should be 100% individual wallets voting.
I mean, should validators even get to vote?
I mean, this is I'm just talking. There's layers of. This shit cake has layers. I'm just saying, at this layer right here.
Welcome to the layer cake, son.
This is the layer cake. But this
all the way back to episode 1. There we are. Bam. Stop the podcast. We can go home, lads.
You know, I'm a big proponent of Cosmos governance, and this is a good example of that. But anyway,
I think you're on record, sir, as saying several times.
A few times.
What we need is more Cosmos governance.
I think we should burn all these DAOs down and let's just do this for validators,
straight back,
officials,
on-chain,
straight aside,
on-chain voting, using XGov.
Totally
like our forefathers did, scrabbling in the dirt like animals.
We should put these.
We should also make sure to not improve XGov, because then it would no longer be completely unbiased. That would cause issues. So it has to stay as the original Constitution wrote it.
I mean, luckily for you, Schultzy, like in America, you guys can amend the Constitution because it's written in words which people can read and attempt to interpret and understand. Luckily for us, in the Cosmos, XGov is written using the Cosmos SDK, which nobody understands. And so nobody even knows. I mean, hypothetically, we don't even know why it's still running. It's been theorized that the original programmers did understand these runes that they were bashing in to what they're supposed to have told their spirit visions to a mystic gopher, and it just fucking compiled some code for them, and that's how it worked. And unfortunately, you know, in the great interchain wars, many of the developers were lost, and we wait for a day when they'll come back.
Interchain wars.
We wait for a day when they will come back to us at the, you know, in a cavalcade of angels from on high, with the chosen one, Jay, at their head, you know, to restore XGov to the people.
It's gonna be
at which point the runes will once again glow a holy color.
Exactly, that's the one. A holy color or holy shit, who knows?
It's gonna be like a poppy day for Cosmos or what?
Yeah, or you could just like fucking use DAO. I mean, that's the other solution, right?
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah, I know what you're gonna do. You could use this broken ass piece of shit here that nobody fucking understands, nobody maintains, nobody does shit to. Or, but you know, it's kind of,
let's just ignore this governance thing.
I mean, or plot twist, option 3, you could just ignore the whole Cosmos thing.
You know, this makes me think we should probably have holidays in Cosmos where for 24 hours the blockchain just stops.
They all stop.
And they all stop.
What you'd be like,
and then everyone can take the day off.
Well, like Labor Day or something, which is like, let's just bring them all down, boys.
Yeah,
Bring 'em all
exactly
down.
right. Yeah.
Ooh.
And then when people trade, they'll realize that all those trades are happening on those Postgres servers.
You should do that on relayers. Relayers should just stop for one day. Like all relayers stop and they go, "What the fuck happened?" Yeah, bitches. That's what happens. The Tuesday
So-
before
Forming
Thanksgiving.
union.
I was
Tuesday
going to
before
say, have we
Thanksgiving
just
US,
invented the
just shut
general
it all down for
strike?
one day. One day, everything stops. All blockchains
It's
stop. We just shut it down.
I can feel
Right.
my beard growing bigger. Must
Yeah.
crush capitalism. No, wait, that would be Lenin. Marx was German. Why did I do the Lenin voice?
Yeah,
in The
null
Simpsons?
can't get slashed on Kujira, whatever the fuck it is.
Fucking Kujira.
Have you
Did-
refunded your slashies
What-
yet?
What
The people you took a slash on.
There is still not a fucking archive
There's no
node.
archive
capable.
node, dude.
I think this fucking archive node's going
sorry,
back.
Your Honor.
you're
I
on a-
would love to. I would love to.
You're on a
comply
3-episode
with the
ban of
court,
talking about a
but,
Kujira
an
archive node.
archive node. I just don't have an
Two
archive
topics
node.
now.
I
One,
can't-
Kujira archive node. Number 2, Aptos VFN disk usage. Both those 3-episode ban.
Hey, if the dexes were like well constructed, like a stock exchange, you could actually have so the
That's
way
a
the
hot
stock
take.
the way the stock exchanges work, right, is like the your broker actually aggregates sales before they execute them on the stock exchange. So before settlement, they actually do all their buys and sells internally and then settle on the exchange later. You could just do it like that, right? So you could go down for a day and just settle it later.
Haven't you just literally described every shit chain L2 that just aggregates back up to Ethereum?
Yeah, but they still have to be upright. You just do it in Cassandra.
No, they don't. Well, they don't have to. No, they don't have to be up. They just have to produce Merkle roots or whatever the fuck it is they do, and then write them to Ethereum at some point. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
well, the better way of thinking about it is that Ethereum is the sewer at the bottom, and people poop their trades into an L2, and gradually it works its way through the plumbing. And the problem is you don't know. Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Dude, the sewer doesn't have a gas fee of $75.
Well, it's because of the tragedy.
Imagine this guy down there with his shovel. He's like, I ain't working unless you give me that $75.
I ain't
Yeah,
shoveling
you guys need to check. You need to. It does cost $75, more than $75 to clean up that fatburg when it all gets out of control, right?
every block.
Stop
Yeah, the
pouring
question.
grease
You
down
know
your
what?
fucking
Actually,
steak,
it is a
you
good
idiot.
analogy because you know when Secret was slowing down and halting. That's like when people discover a fatburg in the sewers, isn't it? It's just like it's just too clogged.
I
With this
don't even want
massive calcium deposit and baby diapers.
I don't even want to Google fatburg. I'm just
Oh,
concerned
do
of
not
what I'm going to
Google
find here.
fatburg.
Don't
We're
do
not putting it in the. But you
No,
know
no.
when they tell you don't pour fat down the sink.
It. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
don't do that.
because
Afraid
the
does it.
the fat finds the nappies that people also shouldn't have put in the sewer.
When people tell me not to pour
Uh.
fat down the sink, I consider that a challenge.
There's a fatburg under your house, and when they're like, "Where's the blockage in this sewer network?" They're going to go to the bottom of your house, and there's just going to be fat.
I replaced the sewer on my house personally, and there was no fatburg in there anywhere.
You replaced the sewer in your house, under your house.
Well, it wasn't technically under my house, but it was adjacent my house. Yeah.
Adjacent your house, but
Yeah,
what?
in Australia, they just put a pipe out the side of the house and just dump it in the field. There's no
Old houses, yeah, they
no-
just come out the side
there's no mains or anything else.
into the neighbor's yard.
There's a fence. Then he dumps it. There's a fence.
I love the way somebody's added to the show notes fatburg, and they spelled
I
it
did.
out like Pittsburgh.
Fucking guilty
Yes, the American-
shits over here.
The American city of Fatburg. Oh my god, is there an American city called Fatburg? I'm going to Google.
There should be. Well, I put a trademark on it just before Oni registers it as a trademark.
That's right.
Coming soon, the fatburg.
Bootstrap
Um,
fatburg. Yeah, exactly. Just want to control it.
Oh,
God,
fuck.
there's
Did
literally.
you-
I see. I don't read the news anymore because I find it aggravating. And I tried to Google fatburg as it was spelt in the thing, and it's instead just brought up the news. And in the UK national news at the moment, there is a fatburg in the news, because a fatburg the size of 3 double-decker buses has been cleared from an East London sewer.
There you go. Oh, there's no H. That's fucking.
Hey,
God,
did you
so much
guys know
yens.
that? Did you guys know that XRP is now going to be the savior of Evmos?
Why is
I
that?
did see that. So what
Yeah.
exactly is that? Did you I couldn't understand exactly what was going on.
Oh, I don't know. It was a partnership announcement. Fuck knows what that means.
But what does that? Yeah, what does that mean though? Like
I don't know.
tying their legs together? XRP. Like, why would XRP pick Chihuahua?
I think that your
Not
single
Chihuahua,
question
fucking
already has put
Evmos.
more
I'm
effort
sorry.
in than
I'm
they
sorry.
did.
Sorry. That's a fucking. Sorry, Chihuahua and
It
Evmos
was.
team. I insulted
You
both of
didn't
them at the
get
same
the.
time.
You didn't get the connection. It was related to adjacent conversation. You didn't get it. It's all right.
So
You know.
the biggest fatburg discovered in a London sewer was put on display as a museum exhibit at the Museum of London.
That does not sound true.
Wait, the Museum of London can exhibit local things? I thought it had to be taken from indigenous people.
That's the British Museum.
Okay.
The
That's
Museum of
Hang on,
the Museum of London is the City of London as well.
I wasn't
that's right.
Specifically, not
concentrating.
even Greater London, but it's the City of London. I'm pretty certain. Anyway, I think it's in the documents.
I had a lapse of concentration there for a second. Did you just tell me that they're displaying the fatburg of size 3 double-decker buses?
No, it's even bigger than
in-
that. The 3 double-decker buses is just the news at the moment. The fatburg that was displayed was 250 meters long and 130 tons.
Oh my god.
How exactly do they transport that from
What are you doing?
underground?
I actually I don't know. There's well they have to break it up into chunks to get it out of the sewer.
What,
It's
and
quite a
then
big
paste
job.
it together? Like,
Just lick
out,
it.
out of a 1.5 meter sewer manhole?
There's
Just keep
actually a
Lick
long
the ends and
article
stick them
about
together.
the historical significance, contextualizing it within the architectural space of London, and also why it is on display and how members of the public are protected from what is toxic waste on the Museum of London's website, which you can read now on their blog.
Probably got
So
some.
I'd
Probably
encourage
got
you
some
to read that.
historical turds mixed up in that fatburg, like bit of Churchill turd, bit of Fleming turd,
So it was on display in
some from the
2018.
Queen.
It was on display in 2018, and then after its public display was added to the museum's permanent collection.
The Queen.
The last known
Oh,
DNA remnants of the Queen are in that fatburg.
On display. How did you say 250
Pete.
meters?
PFC's it. Hey, buddy.
250. Yeah, I invited them. 250 meters? That's like is that even it's larger than
It's
the
a
whole
quarter
museum.
of a kilometer.
Is that the whole back half just one log?
Sure, they don't just have a piece of it, like a intersection,
You don't really need the whole thing, right?
a slice.
Oh, now I'm
Pick
googling
out
this.
the
Hey,
closest
look, all I'm
connection.
saying is next time you go to London, you should check if it's still on display. Maybe go find out for yourself because there seems to be a lot of interest. And I'm not the curator of the Museum of London. I can't answer these questions for you.
Okay, we'll be there next month, so I'll give you some dates.